What is going on, college sports fans? Welcome back to another video, and today we have a second chance to make a good bracket because our first bracket is absolutely destroyed. I don't know how anyone could have predicted this exact Sweet 16 to happen, but we have a second chance at it, and we're going to predict it here for you guys. And before we get into it, I just want to say subscribe if you guys are new, and drop me a like and comment down below. Who at this point do you think is bringing home the 2022 National Championship? So let me know who you guys think is going to win the Natty. And yeah, let's get right into this second chance bracket. So our first matchup we have, you know what? I'm actually going to start down here in the Midwest because I've always started up in the top left and it's not doing me any good. So I'm a little bit superstitious. Let's try to start in the bottom right corner this time to switch it up a little bit. So we got Kansas versus Providence. And Providence has actually, to my surprise and to probably a lot of people's surprise, been pretty good in this tournament. And I know that they've only had to play a 13 seed and a 12 seed in South Dakota State and Richmond. But they played very, very good basketball in both of those games. They are looking pretty good. And it wouldn't surprise me if they upset Kansas, honestly. Do I think it's going to happen? I'm not sure if I'm willing to go that far. I kind of want to, though. But I'm going to go with the safer pick here. I think Kansas will be able to handle their business in this one. Kansas has been playing outstanding. But you have to look out because Creighton played them pretty close. And they were shooting lights out. So they could struggle against another Big East team here in Providence, but we will see. Okay, now we got Iowa State versus Miami, 11 versus 10 seed. One of them is going to make the Elite Eight, and this is going to be an amazing game. I mean, Iowa State, both these teams have so many players that can score the ball. The problem to me is, do I trust Iowa State to have at least two, maybe even three guys who are going to be on for that night? Because it's almost like they're taking turns. Like Tyrese Hunter has a big game against LSU, and then their senior forward who randomly had a big game against Wisconsin. And then you have Isaiah Brockington who can have a big game. You have all these guys who can have big games. I think they're going to need at least three of them, their players, to have big games in order to beat Miami, because Miami, they have Isaiah Wong, they have Charlie Moore, and they have McGusty, and they have a lot of these guys who are always on more consistently, and that's why I'm going to pick the Hurricanes to win this one, because I feel like they are going to be way more consistent than Iowa State. So give me the Hurricanes to move on to the Elite Eight. Now, let's go up here to the South region to switch it up a little bit. We'll make all our Sweet 16 picks and then all of our Elite Eight picks, then our Final Four picks. So then we got Arizona versus Houston. And Houston, a lot like Providence, people were sleeping on them, including myself, at the start of this tournament. But they came here and they proved people wrong. They are very well coached. To do all of this without Marcus Sasser is just crazy, man. To play as good as defense as they did against Illinois, that was awesome. They hustle. They're going to come to play. And they got five guys on the court at all times who are going to play their hardest on defense. And they are long, lengthy, and they get a lot of offensive rebounds. So they could give Arizona some trouble. But Arizona showed me Benedict Mathurin is clutch. I think both of these teams are not going to give up. They have a lot of fight in them. So I think Arizona is going to survive just because I think they are the better team, especially without Marcus Sasser for Houston. It's going to be a very close game. It's going to come down to the wire. And I could see this game going to overtime, maybe two overtimes, just because neither of these teams are going to just lay down and die. They are going to keep fighting until they can't anymore. But give me Arizona. I think they're going to win the fight in the end. Then we have Michigan versus Villanova, and Michigan's been playing very good. I mean, Hunter Dickinson has been awesome in the tournament, and I think he could cause some problems for Villanova because Villanova doesn't have a true guy that's taller than 6'8", when Hunter Dickinson is a true 7-footer. So that could cause some issues for them. But Villanova, I trust Jay Wright to come up with a good game plan, and I am going to pick Villanova to win, and we'll get a Wildcat versus Wildcat matchup there in the Elite Eight. Okay, now let's go to the West. We got Gonzaga versus Arkansas. Now this one is going to be awesome. I think JD Note is going to give Gonzaga some fits, but you do have Nembhard on Gonzaga, who's also going to be good, and then you have Jalen Williams down there, who's going to have to try to guard Drew Timme and Chet Holmgren. It's going to be a tough task, man. Drew Timme, he's almost guaranteed a run of like 10 straight points in any given game. So it's going to be tough to try to contain them. Arkansas has shown that they are going to be very good on defense. I don't know if I can pick against the Zags in this one. I think I got to go with Gonzaga. Nembhard showed me that he can maybe be that guy who can clutch up at the end of games, like down the home stretch, and be able to finish games. He did it against Memphis. I think they can do it here against Arkansas. Then we got Texas Tech versus Duke. And I think I kind of want to go Duke, or I kind of want to go Texas Tech here, just because I think that the length and the depth will be will give a lot of problems to Duke. But I almost feel like Duke is going to hit a big shot at the end in this one and win it. I kind of feel that way. So I'm going to go with Texas Tech because I think they are the better team, but it wouldn't surprise me if something happens at the end of the game that maybe is a little bit questionable. Maybe it's a call, or maybe it's a big shot by someone on Duke. But, I mean, Roach came up big there against MSU. I think that Duke has the potential to hit big shots at the end of games that I don't know that Texas Tech does, because Texas Tech, they finished their game at the free throw line, and they hit their foul shots, and they finished it with defense. But I'm going to trust Texas Tech here, but I could definitely see maybe something questionable happening to where the NCAA wants to see Duke versus Gonzaga in Coach K's last run. So I could see that happening almost to the point where I want to pick Duke. You know what? I'm gonna try to make as good of a bracket as I can, and I think that could happen. So I'm gonna go with Duke, and it could be a questionable call, or it could just be a good play by Duke at the end of the game to win it all. So it's gonna be tough, but I'm gonna pick Duke. Then we got North Carolina versus UCLA, and North Carolina has been playing awesome basketball. They had a big lead against Baylor, almost blew it. A lot of questionable reffing there, a lot of questionable reffing throughout the entire tournament, but North Carolina ended up hanging on in overtime. RJ Davis looks like a star. Baycott, I can't pronounce his first name right now for some reason, but Baycott is good. You got Brady Manick. I really like this North Carolina team, and unless we see some Johnny Magic, I'm feeling the Tar Heels here to move on. I'm really feeling the Tar Heels to move on in this one. All right, now we got Purdue versus St. Peter's, and can St. Peter's be the first 15 seed to make it to the Elite Eight? I think it's possible. I'm not very high on this Purdue team this year, so I could definitely see it happening, but Jaden Ivey hit some big shots. Again, the reffing was questionable, but I like this Purdue team a lot. I think Jaden Ivey is going to have... I feel like Purdue's going to have enough fight in them, because St. Peter's is going to have all the heart, all the fight, and Purdue needs to match that to win this game, because if they can match that, they definitely have the talent advantage. I think they will. I think they showed. I think they're going to come in here ready. Coach Painter is going to tell them, like, listen, do not underestimate them, or else we're going to lose. If you underestimate St. Peter's, they're going to beat you. They've shown that they can beat good teams. They already beat 2 of them. I think Purdue is going to win this game. All right, now our Elite 8 matchups are set, and we have some good ones. We have some good ones, man. So let's start back up here in the East, or in the West, my bad. We got Gonzaga versus Duke. And in this one, I think that Gonzaga is going to end Coach K's career and move on in this one. I just think that Drew Timme, that size, and the veteran leadership that he has is going to be enough to beat Duke in that very young, talented team. Give me Gonzaga to move on. Now, we have North Carolina versus Purdue. And this is interesting because this could be the first really good center that Purdue's had to see this tournament. I mean, they had Virginia Tech, Texas. Texas does have a pretty good center in Timmy Allen, but I don't think they have anyone like Armando Bacot. I think that he could give them some trouble. RJ Davis could be huge in this game. And I kind of want to do it, but I could very well see North Carolina winning this game. But I am going to pick Purdue to get it done. I think that the star power, both these teams have stars, but they did contain Timmy Allen pretty well against Texas. So if they can contain Bacot, don't let Brady Manick shoot open threes. I think there is a formula to beat North Carolina. I think Purdue is going to get it done. Purdue to the Final Four. All right, now we got Kansas versus Miami. And I am going to go with the Hurricanes to pull the upset and make the Final Four. So this is my first true upset. I have North Carolina over UCLA. So not really. But I think Miami could get this done because Kansas, they haven't shown me as much fight as a lot of these other one seeds like Arizona and Gonzaga have. They haven't played in that very close game, and maybe they will against Providence. Maybe they'll lose against Providence because I could see that happening. But I think Miami could get this one done. So give me the Hurricanes to move on. I think Charlie Moore, a veteran point guard. McGusty, he's a great shooter. Wong is a great shooter. And they also have a good center who actually blocked a lot of shots against Auburn and held his own against Walker Kessler. I like the Hurricanes to make a little bit of a run here. They're a team full of transfers and senior players and experienced players. And I think the leadership will get it done. Give me Miami to upset Kansas and make the Final Four. Now we got Arizona versus Villanova, and this one is going to be an awesome matchup, man. I really want to see this matchup. The game plan is going to be crazy. I would love to see Jay Wright's game plan against this Arizona team who is just so hard to stop offensively. And when all their players are on, they are tough to beat. And with Arizona just going through a hard game against TCU and almost a guaranteed hard game against Houston, you got to think that they're battle tested. Villanova, they're not really, but Colin Gillespie is a veteran, man. I think Colin Gillespie's run here is going to end in his senior year. He's had a great career. Leads them to the Elite Eight. But Arizona, too good this year. Give me Arizona to move on to the Final Four. Okay, so now we have our Final Four matchups. We'll start on this side. We got Gonzaga versus Purdue. We got Drew Timme versus Zach Edey, or Chet Holmgren versus Zach Edey. Jaden Ivey versus Nimhart. This would be an outstanding Final Four game. I really want to see it. And I'd be interested because Travion Williams, probably the sixth man of the year in all of college basketball. I would wonder, if Gonzaga has Chet Holmgren and Drew Timme in the game at the same time, like they do a lot of times, do you think that Matt Painter would put in Travion Williams and Zach Edey at the same time? It's a little bit different because Zach Edey and Travion Williams neither one of them can really shoot the basketball, whereas Chet Holmgren can knock down a shot, and Drew Timme can definitely knock down the mid-range. So it's a little bit different, but do you think that Purdue would do that? That would be interesting to see. I think Jaden Ivey is the difference maker here. I think we could see another Final Four classic with Gonzaga, but this time, instead of Jalen Suggs hitting the big shot, it's Jaden Ivey, and Gonzaga gets on the other end of a crazy Final Four classic game, and Purdue makes it to the national championship. Then we have Arizona versus Miami, and can Miami do it again? They just had knocked off Kansas. Can they knock off another number 1 seed? And I don't think so. I think Arizona is going to be prepared for them. I think it's going to be a very awesome close game. I'd love to see Benedict Mathurin versus Charlie Moore and them boys, but I think that the run ends there for Miami at the Final Four, and we get a Purdue Arizona national championship game, and I would love to see this. This game would be insane. I mean, the amount of points that would be scored in this game. I mean, I'm going to pick my score here in a second, so we'll get to that, but it would be so entertaining, this national championship, that I almost have to see it. And I am going to go with Arizona to win the championship. I think that they've just been such a good team all year long, and I think that they can get it done. They're a very well-rounded team. So give me Arizona Wildcats to beat the Purdue Boilermakers in the national championship game. And this is going to be a very high-scoring game. I'm thinking it could even go to overtime. So I'm going to go 91-89. Very high-scoring game. Like I said, I could see it going to overtime. So I'm going to pick a high score. So those are my picks, man, for their second chance. I really like this bracket. I think it could happen this way. Let me know your new Final Four picks from your second chance bracket down in the comment section below, because I'm interested to see who you think will win the championship now, with all the madness that has gone down so far. So let me know that down in the comment section. Drop me a like if you guys enjoyed, and make sure you hit that subscribe button because it helps me out a lot, and I'd appreciate it a ton. So yeah, without further ado, it's been your boy Danny. I'm out.